There's the sound. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Here's my face. Hello, welcome. Mayday, Mayday. This is May 1st in the United States of America, and the United States is having a Mayday call on today, and we're hoping that everyone stays safe and everything is continues to be peaceful, and people have a right to talk about what is wrong. And so, yes, so that is what we are supporting. In the meantime, here in Arnaaluk, I'm going to change my view. We have the exact opposite. We are a peaceful nation. We have no weapons. And we have no armies. We have druids, but that's because this is a druid sanctuary. And we are in one of the new farm corridors. And that's one of our builders. That's actually Case. Case is going to start expanding this new greenhouse. This is greenhouse. Right now it's growing tea. And so when it is done, we'll see. We're going to add some additional vegetables. There will be an upstairs greenhouse area and a downstairs farm area. Hi. And so we're going to do all of that. We'll see some of that going on. I came down here after the Twitch stream and found this hallway flooded because this actually is within the build of this house, this hallway. And so the glass was missing. But luckily, we didn't have any casualties or any injuries from it. And we have put in panels in this hallway along here. I put the glass back, but it's not going to stay there. So until this is a level 5. So we're just going ahead and putting the panels in so that the hallway stays safe while things are done here. Now I thought Case was staying here, but he's not. He's actually staying in the dorms near where he is using Beatrice's, yes, her builder's shop. And this is actually Patrick who's living here. What I noticed, Patrick isn't sleeping. And I don't know why, but every once in a while with this one, they can get into a situation where they're not sleeping. So what I think I would like to do is copy these beds, take them off, and put them back on, with the off chance possibly that that's the problem. Hopefully not. We'll see. We put in an entrance, but this entrance should be beyond the build. We'll see if that survives. And this hallway seems to have survived the build, so it is beyond. And so those are some of the smaller things that we're doing at this particular time. And I say it's smaller, but in actuality, for the fact that it pertains to food, it's really important. The things that are getting done in regards to the farms. So this is a level 3. This is what we're building over there. We're going to build one of these, and it's going to have this upstairs. So we'll be able to have 2 full fields over there. And that is going to allow Patrick to have 2 fields of his own, and then help, this is Bentley, yes, with one of his fields. So Bentley's actually, and Patrick is helping, see? So Bentley has given Patrick his durum wheat field right here, but he has 2 other wheat fields here that he is doing, and 1 garlic field upstairs. So that's 3 fields for him, 1, 2, and 3, which means that Nola is doing the 3rd garlic field. Let's go see if that's actually true. Now we're going to see people who are unhappy. Right at this time, there is a lot of hi.
Oh, nice.
Hello, teasers. How are you? Welcome, welcome. You are the first, and you are most welcome to be here. Teasers, and how are you? Do you play Minecraft? Do you play Minecolonies? There's Nola.
So what will it be
Let's
for
come
you?
to here. Is it not what you thought it was going to be? It is. It is a rest. This is my rest period, and so I am taking a little bit of time to show what it would be like if we had a world without war, and that is this druid sanctuary, and that is what we're doing. But I think teasers might have been looking for something else, and hopefully he will find it. But right now we are continuing. So let me check Nola for a second. And she does have one of the garlic fields next door. That should be pretty close. And then she has cabbage and garlic from Daniela. And so we're looking at that. I was about to explain that the discontent
Great to see you.
is actually about the menus in the restaurant, and it is an adjustment that's being worked on. It takes time to get the adjustment right. Minecolonies is apparently trying to make it a challenge, a peace challenge, like it is on Earth. That food is challenging, and challenging in respect to the fact that growing it and making sure that there's enough for people and having enough space to do that with is a challenge, and also finding people who want to do that kind of work is a challenge. We're lucky we have some people whose skill sets say that they want to do that kind of work. Look at Daniela. She loves it. She has a 76 in stamina. Good gracious, woman. And that is a sign that she loves her job. She just loves being a farmer. And so this is good. Case is a builder. And right now, let's look at Case. Case just started building in this area. He is showing himself as a 36, but he's an experienced builder who just moved. And I think the move has him a little disconcerted. So it's going to take him a little bit of time to decide if he wants to be here or not, or if he wants to go back to his old place and build. And so yes, we got children. Yay! We got a group of children arrived, and those children have started growing up. I think almost all of them are grown by now, and so that means that they all need to attend the university. So what we're going to do is, some of the parents have been lecturing. Yes, see this where nobody is happy about their food? That is just really strange.
I am working on forming a union.
So we're going to go down here and look at Nina and see what's going on with her. Now, Nina Nina actually, hi Nina.
'Tis a fine morning.
Oh, okay. Now that's a thing that might be making it difficult for her, and of course it is. Let me see how many pizzas she has. How many? This is difficult for this particular restaurant because if she serves too many different types of food, she doesn't have any place to put them. And so we'll have to take some of them away, just to give her a chance to serve people. Otherwise, she's going to have trouble serving. So I see 2 of these. Let's take these away. I see those. I see this. We'll take that away. And of the tacos, I think that will help her feed people. Let's take these 2. Let's put this one up here, and everything else we can take and give back to the warehouse for a minute. And let's see if now she's able to do something for those people, and we'll see how this goes. Mm-hmm. So we'll come over here, and we're just gonna give it to a courier to return to the warehouse, and then they can give it to whichever restaurant needs more of that. And we'll do that. Let's go back. That was an explanation as to why so many people in this area are dissatisfied with the food, but it's now nighttime and everyone's gone home. So while it's night, let's come into the library where the kids study. Archie is a new kid. You can tell he's only a 22. Atticus is the ambassador, and we're going to have Atticus. He was doing lecturing. We're going to have him leave for now, and we're going to have Mildred, who's the doctor. We're going to have her go back to work as well. They're both pretty close to where they're living, so they can go back to work while the kids and still live with the kids. So Raphael is going to come in, and Tadeo is going to come in. Those are both our 2 of our kids. We still have Dexter, who is not in school, so that means we need 1 more adult to not be here. And let me see who we have. Khalid is an adult. He's got a 34. We could assign him to something. Adaptability and agility don't match. Let me think about that. And we've got Kari, and her focus, yep, she's not enough. Khalid could actually study, why don't we have him study, is this the, yeah, let's go through the museum for a minute. Let's see if we have room here for him. We might not. Elaine is here. We could have Elaine go out. She was just getting acclimated. Eli runs the museum. Michael is the dean. River is still trying to do something. I don't think that Nana improves anymore. I'm not even sure now. It used to be that when they were in school, those things improved. It doesn't look like that's happening. She's a 10 focus, so we might go ahead and have River have Elaine take a job, and that will kind of solve maybe getting one of wait, I'll come back here. Maybe getting who do we want? We were looking at Khalid. Let's get Khalid here for right now. Mauricio and Raquel, And they all have jobs, but let's get Dexter into school right here. And we'll see how many. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Dexter makes the 6th child. So those are all 6 of our children are now at university. So let's go to the jobs of the adults and get Atticus and Mildred back to work. So they, wait, where am I going? They work here. They work in the university corridor. So we'll come to here and go through. And Mildred is the doctor here. Lillian, the enchanter, has been covering for her, but she's going to come back to work. Now, see, she's 54 away, so it's not too bad. Atticus is going to be farther away, and that's going to make it a little difficult for him. Let's get Mildred back here. Squeegee will be glad to have Lillian come back. Squeegee is fine. Lillian's been coming home at night because she lives here. So Squeegee is okay. There's Squeegee. Hi, Squeegee. and so Squeegee is Lillian's pet. And so we'll just have them be here. So let me see if we can actually have Atticus work. 70, I think it's going to be too far away. Let's come and look. And it is almost 80. It definitely is far away. It's almost 80. If we have them come back to work, then the kids will have to move into the dorm. Let me see the kids for a second. We're going to see whose kids these belong to. It's Mildred's, a relative of Mildred's is here that she's raising. And she might want to still stay with Mildred, with them. I'll have to figure out who they are. I think Dexter and Journey were raised together. And I'm going to fix this right now. Let's put that there. And then Tadeo, and so I'll see in a minute. And then Imani and Archie are together. So I think that's the way our 6 kids are. Let's come here. And I don't know. I don't think so. That's far. I think not. I think we'll just leave it for now and have him just be off. He's the ambassador to the Nether, so we're just going to have him not working right at the moment until he gets back to work. He'll be okay. If it seems like he's losing his mana, let's come here and let's look at this for a second. Because Atticus, when he first got here, had huge focus. He had really big numbers. Now his mana is 19 now. We can see that his strength and his adaptability are pretty high, so that's probably what he needs for what he's doing. So we'll just leave him for the time being. Now, the new kid on the block, Yelena, She's actually a rescue. She asked for asylum, and she knew that her relative Mira, who was one of the first foreigners here, and so Elena has asked and been accepted for asylum, and she liked being a druid. She just does not want to fight. And so we have a couple reception druids. We can actually put her in reception, or we can actually give her one of the peace druid positions. We have 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken, that are still not filled, and one of them is right here. So I think we're going to give her this peace druid location right here, and we need druids, and so that is Elaine. So Elaine is going to be here, and this is a level 5 underwater base druid guard tower that we're using for the druid stations. Nothing's been done to this one. No one's been here before. So when she moves in, she can change the furniture and the beds and put whatever she would like in here. And then upstairs, we can add whatever she wants for up here. Now, the glass isn't even done here for her to look out. Mr. Villager, oi! Oi, Mr. Villager, welcome. And the glass isn't done for up here yet. So we'll come back here. Hi. Hi. How are you? And so we'll come to here and we'll come down. And we'll see in just a moment. So, but she is new, and her sibling, I think it's a sibling. It's more than likely a cousin. That her cousin Mira is going to help and see what's going on there. So we have, you're doing good, still recovering. Yay! I'm glad. I know your whole family had a cold, was sick, and your grandmother was like very upset about it. I remember that. But I'm glad that you're getting better. How is everyone else in your family? Are they starting to get better too? I hope. And let me look. So Mildred and Atticus are raising Raphael and Tadeo. And Mildred has gotten close, and that's why she's perfectly happy to do that. She's happy to work, to come home from work to them. You think it was only you guys? Ah, I see. Okay. And let's come here. Raquel, Mauricio, and so Raquel and Mauricio are probably going to let the kids be on their own. They're only distant relatives, and when the kids were growing up, they were here for them, but the kids are grown now, and so I think that they want to get back to work. We're going to let everyone in this house be unhoused. What time of day is it? So it's 10:30. It's almost 11 o'clock in the afternoon, or in the morning, I should say. So let's get the kids into one of the dorms first, and then we'll get Raquel and Mauricio back to their houses. Let's see if there's any room here. There is. So we're going to put Imani and Archie here. And then we're going to go and get Raquel. You know, I swear, it sounds like that someone's keeping one of the frogs as a pet. It just sounds like that. Someone's got a pet frog. But whenever I go and check, I can't find one. So they're like hiding it in the closet or something. So let's, now that we got the kids in their dorms, now the adults are going to go back to their jobs, and we're going to walk down. Why don't we go this way? We're going to go through the Makers Hall. This looks so pretty. This looks lovely. So let's come here. Did you see that dripping? Something dripped, but I don't see where it came from. Okay, and then we're going to go through the glass shop where Dax is. This is Dax, and Dax is making glass. This is Yale, and Yale is making stone. He is the stone smelter. And this is Sloan right here, and she is the ores smelter. This is Amanda. Amanda, you've changed. Look at Amanda. She's changed a lot. And Amanda is our blacksmith. And then we'll come around the corner here, and this is where Raquel works. And Raquel was helping Mauricio to raise the kids, and she's going to come back to work here. You can see that not only is she a crusher running the crushing plant, she loves it. She's above 50 in it, and she's very, very happy with her job. Let's get Mauricio back to work. Michael has been covering for Mauricio. Michael closed his restaurant because Mauricio's restaurant gets more day traffic. And so it was important that the people, the makers who depend on Mauricio for lunch, were able to get lunch here. Now you can see Mauricio loves his restaurant too. And Michael has a restaurant around the corner. We'll go around there and we'll get him back to work at his own restaurant. But on the way, especially what time of day is it? It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. On the way, we will get Mauricio and Raquel living together. Now, it was interesting when they were taking care of the kids, and it makes me wonder, do they still want to be a couple? They were rather strange with each other. And kids will do that to parents and to adults. Kids just make things strange. So we'll see what happens when they come back here. We'll see if they are, in fact, still interested in being with each other. If they're not, if they're sleeping separately, I'm going to separate them and put them in different housing. It's possible that they are not enamored of each other anymore, and so we can do that and see what happens. That looks like one of our fishers. That looked like onyx, didn't it, Mr. Villager? Didn't that look like onyx? I think it was. So we're coming down to Michael's restaurant, which is around the corner. And we have 3 restaurants in this area for the makers and for tourists. And Michael's restaurant is a tourist restaurant. And one of the reasons why he could close his restaurant right now is because neither the graveyard nor the pyramids nor the none of the tourist attractions, the haunted ship, the graveyard, and the pyramid beyond the graveyard. The graveyard's a pyramid too, are technically open yet. I mean, if someone knows about them and they come in the tavern, they can actually visit them. But they don't actually open officially until the cruise line is finished. And River is still working on the cruise line. Whoa, look at this. She has gotten some concrete and she is working on it. Yay! So yes, so this is the part of the hotel that is going to have the cruise line. This is technically the player house for Aquatica, and attached to the player house you can have what they call a sea truck, and the sea truck looks like a cruise line. And so when this is done, we won't have the player house amenities in here. For instance, this gorgeous, beautiful bed, unfortunately, is going to be in what's going to be like an upstairs lobby or lounge area for people who are taking cruises. And then where this is right here, this is for the player. This is actually an entrance to the hotel, so that's not going to be there. And this entrance here is the entrance between the hotel, between the cruise section of the hotel and this store, this clothing store. But the other entrance is right here, where those books were. That's the enchanting table. Yep. So since that's not happening, Michael was able to close his restaurant and fill in for Mauricio for the time being. Okay, so the parents of the foster parents of Imani and Archie are back to work, and Imani and Archie are living in the dormitory and near the university, and they'll stay there until they're grown up. And so Mildred and Atticus are kind of back to work, not entirely. And then the other set of kids, Fatima is raising a child from her parents, from her family. And let me see something. Let me look for Fatima and see. I don't think we looked at Fatima's history. We might not have it. The Greville name is an old name, and I've had Grevilles in a lot of cities. I might not have gotten to her history. I started to do everyone's history, which meant going and finding their relatives among former cities, because I have those records, but I didn't get to Fatima, probably because Fatima was she actually? Yeah, I think she came in as she came in as an orphan, and there she is, and was raised by Quentin and Jenna. And when she came in as an orphan, she was coming not from one of the cities that had a ambassador from Tana, but from one of the other cities that has Grevilles. And so she is Journey and Dexter. We have 2 Dexters now because of this. We're being fostered by Fatima and Mauricio, the doctor. So we're going to let them also go back. Ooh, the warehouse is full. Hold on. Let's do something about the warehouse. Let's see if sorting the warehouse will be enough. It's nighttime. Let's try sorting it. If sorting doesn't clear the cache, I could go this way. This is easier. If sorting doesn't work, then we'll have to start moving some of the stuff to the other warehouse. Some of the merchandise that's in here to the other warehouse. Let's see what we've got here. Yes, see this? See how there's all this here? But look at all the different things that we have in this section. So let me sort first. And now let me see if that cleared. Good. So that means there's still space because I was able to clear. Let's make that go away. But let's take this piece of glass and put it back here. And we're good. Okay, so it might be okay. There might be enough room. And we'll see if there is, if we get the warehouses full again really quickly, we may have to assist in transitioning some of the merchandise into the second warehouse in the other makers area. And we would do that. Let's come over here back to the university and we'll look at the housing for a moment. This is the tavern and this is the Terrapoda. The Terrapoda is where we have the children's primary school is at the end of the apartment building, and beyond the children's school are 2 private homes where people live, and this is Raphael and Tadeo, who Mildred and Atticus are taking care of. Now we moved, hold on a second, I just realized something. Wait, didn't we just move? Hold on, let me look and see. Because if we just move them out of this apartment might make it possible for Atticus to work. And let's look here and see who's here. No one is here. Yay! So we can move this family up to the other apartment, and that will enable the parents to have Atticus to go back to work. So we'll start with Raphael and Tadeo, and then we'll come up here to where Mildred and Atticus are sleeping, and we'll come here and we'll have them come out. We had to move them anyway because sometimes that happens with the kids, and so we will move them into an apartment that works better with adult kids. It's okay when they're kids to sleep there between the parents, but when they're older, yeah, it's not so comfortable anymore. So let's come down here. Atticus, Mildred, Raphael, and that's Tadeo who's there. And so they're still going to, they still want to be close to these 2 kids for now. Wait, and we'll check on Atticus and see if that makes it much easier for him. So that means that that house is empty. And this house right here is where Journey and Dexter are. We're going to unassign them and we're going to move them into the dormitories as well. And upstairs, the foster parents Mauricio and Fatima are going to go back to work. So everyone is sleeping here tonight, and then tomorrow they'll all pack up. And Fatima and Mauricio will help Journey and Dexter move into the dormitories, and then they will return to their farms and continue farming. Because Fatima is a shepherd, Mauricio will return to the farm hospital where he's a doctor, and a field nurse has been taking care of his hospital in case someone was sick. But now we can actually have the doctor come in. So when there's a field doctor, if someone's sick, if they need more than medications, then which way is that going? Okay, I want to try this one back here. If they need the treatment of a real doctor, then the field nurse will send them to one of the other two hospitals where there was a doctor at the time. So let's come here and let's have Journey and Dexter. So we have two Dexters. The other Dexter is a dairy farmer, and now we have Dexter Hetrisham, and they are now in the dorms near where they are going to school, and we'll go back to the farms. And the farms are off this way, and we'll head out. And Case is still waiting for some
What's
things.
it today, then?
Yes, I know you don't like the stuff in the restaurant. There are things that are being made. You can see that things are being delivered, are going to be delivered, and he's just waiting on those deliveries. So, and here comes a delivery person, but not going to him. Interesting. We'll see when we get back here. So we'll go to, let's go to Mauricio first. We'll have Mauricio, yeah, let's cut through this way. And the farm hospital is here. And we'll see who was helping with the hospital, the farm hospital. And here we are, and it was Hannah. Okay, so Hannah is now done, and we're going to have Mauricio come back, and you can see he is the doctor. And then we'll have Fatima go back to her farm, and we'll find out where Hannah's going to go. She could stay here. If she likes it here, we could give her the Willows reception, but I think that she, with her skills, would like to be an actual druid. We have peace druids, and then we have reception druids. Peace druid is what she might want to be, and so we'll do that. Let me see. I'm going. Let me come in this way for a minute because Fatima is here. This is the sheep farms right here, and so Fatima is returning right there. Now the two of them were living down the street this way, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am mistaken, no, because it's Mauricio, they had to have been living in the Willow's apartments. Yeah, because that's close for both of them. The other apartments, the Azalea apartment, isn't close for Mauricio's. So let's come here. Is she going home? Let's see where Franklin and Daniela are here. And here no one is. So this is where Fatima and Mauricio were living. Hannah might be looking for Braylee, who is down here. And just probably looking for her and hoping that she's also going to get one of those. But I'll have to see what her numbers look like as far as a druid. I'm almost positive that she is a druid peacekeeper, that she's happy to do that, and that's what we're going to look for. So we got one of the places. We have one more peacekeeping station. Actually, we have two. Interesting. I wonder how Arabella would feel about that really far away peace station. We might get Arabella to be there. We'll see in a minute. And have Hannah take over, but we'll see. For a second, we're headed towards, we're gonna go through the warehouse. Is the warehouse filling up? Let's see. No, good. So long as there isn't anything in the inbox, in the hut block inventory, that means that things are okay. So we put one of the druids here, and that was Elaine. And then back here we have one more druid in the far, all the way back. And we have a druid at both ends of the willows. It just happens to be their location. And so this druid station would be for Hannah. And let's look at druids. And it's a 17 and a 30. I'll just have to do it until we see if they fix that with the university, where the mana, they used to be able to get mana from researching at the university, and they don't seem to be doing that anymore. So we'll find out. And so Hannah will be assigned here until we figure out if that is going to happen, if people are actually going to grow in their fields as they do research. We know that the barracks and the druid stations don't grow unless you're fighting. And so we know that they're not going to get any higher than they are, but we could have them go back to school at the university, and they would eventually gain their mana back. And that's not happening right now. We'll see what. It's just a change in the way something changed in the algorithms when they updated. Oopie doopie. All right. So if you wonder, we do have research. There is some research that we decided to do. I'm sorry.
Need something?
Yes, Khalid. I actually do. Can I get there? Can I get to that? Thank you. Okay, let's see what's here. I don't know that that's enough emeralds. I don't think that's enough for what's needed. The rabbit's foot is for speed. We decided to experiment with them, with the couriers actually maybe being hampered by the fact that we didn't study speed, and that maybe we should study it just to make it possible for them to be able to move faster. In order to look at everything else, I would need to go to this little station right here and change into a player. So I would give up my magic as a mermaid and change into a player to protect the university. So here we go, and here we are. And now I will have I'll actually have hearts, and there they are. And so we can go out, and we can't like accidentally hit the hut block and make it disappear. And so here we go, and let's come here and let's look. So we have done almost everything in a lot of this area. We have some storage. Oops, let me look here. We have some storage here. So we have some redstone, some cookies. I don't think it's enough of either of those. And then someplace else, I thought we were keeping cakes, but I don't see them unless they're here. No. I'm gonna cough. Hold on a sec. Vincentius Primus just heard a delivery. So I thought we were keeping cakes here, and I thought we were putting them up here, but there's nothing there. Did they eat all the cakes that we were saving? Did they actually? Look at that. We don't have them. What happened to them? Wow, unless we did it. Oh, there's a possibility. Hold on, let's look at this. There's a possibility that we did the cakes already. Let's come down here to Circus Festival, Opera. Yes, we did. We did them. And so we have, so that the citizens' happiness is plus 5% more than what it was before we did that. Now the theater is in the same line as all of these, where it's like, what do we want? And so I'm not sure in regards to this. These are citizens XP being able to grow, and we would need 48 books for that. Why don't we ask for 48 books? Because it would take a while. So let's go to books. And there we are. And let's get 48. And that's what we're asking for. Okay. And then let's look here. And let me think. Let's continue. So that's one of the things that we still have. If we're going to make this city go up to 250, we can do that. We've never needed that number. So, but we might need over 150 just to have the number of druids that we want to rescue. And that's what it is, that we want to be able to rescue more. And so we may have to do that, which is 512 steaks. I'm not ready to do that just yet. So I think we won't. The light is blinking in the room. All right. And we did do one of these. This would make them 5% and cost 1 rabbit foot. We can try it again and see. I don't really like them moving that fast, but I just have a funny feeling that if we don't do the research, they're actually hampered. So we have the haste unlocked, and we just haven't done it yet. I thought we did, but apparently we haven't. We were waiting for this. So we do have one of these. So let's do that. And let's come to here. And let's do, and there we are. Okay, let's go back to civilian. And that's going to take an hour. We don't want anyone climbing vines, so we're not doing that research. The guardian angel, which is 8 health points. We could do that. It takes 128, which is 264s. So that's not a lot of hay. We could ask for it, and that would be good. So let's do that. Let's ask for 64 twice and get 2 stacks of hay to do the research for that. And then let's come, and that was over here. Yes. So we've done opera. I don't want them working later than they already do, so we're not doing that. We don't want the kids to grow up any more than they do as faster. We just don't. However, the only thing left is a PhD, and I'm not sure which one of these I want to do. I think I would prefer, the way things are going, I might have to do glutton just to get people to be more satisfied with their food. But there's no guarantee that that's going to make them more satisfied with the variety of food. So I don't think I want to. We'll do theater more than likely. And the guardian angel, hey, and that, and the books. Okay, and I'm not ready to do the city yet. And I believe it's one or the other here. Oh, we have these. Let's do vitality. Let's come here. We actually have golden apples, and they were probably here specifically so that we could do that. Hold on. Let's come here and let's look. Dun, 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 dun. And that is healing. Excellent. Excellent. So now they're researching 2 things. And then let's look again. Let's look and see. Now we haven't been able to do the things from the graveyard beyond a certain point. They all need a level 5. And that is what Lionel is working on, the level 5. And once we have it, then we can get these 3 researches done for the graveyard. So we haven't done those. Let's go to, we don't need anything from combat. We did do some so we could get the barracks. We wanted the archery because it looks like a fitness center, the barracks because it looks like a science research center, And so, and then we needed paranormics off of the combat in order to have the alchemists be able to give the druids potions. And we did want them. All the potions are always defense weapons and things like that. We don't need the podzol, but when they don't have anything more to research, we'll probably do the podzol then, and we'll do the gargamel. The mushrooms from the nether, they can study those. We'll do exotic fruits also, but we don't need this. This is new. I don't ever remember seeing that before. Crops grow outward in offshoots.
That was some good lunch today.
That's interesting. But you need a farm totaling level 4. So see that thing where it says farmer farms? So now you can either have a level 4 farm, or you can have 4 level 1 farms, and you can do the research. And that's really cool, that change. 32 compost for green revolution. I'm intrigued. We can ask for it and see. We don't need this soft shoe, but like I said, when they run out of things to research, we'll do these, and the bakery. Right now, what I'm looking for is things that we still need. There's one. So we could do 256 more paper. Not sure that we need that one right away. However, citizen inventory slots, both of those we can look at.
Thank you for this amazing colony.
You are welcome. This is what we need, and that requires 1,024. So 1,024 is 3 rows. 1,024 is 3 rows of, just under 3 rows of 64s in a chest, and that's what we would need. That's a lot. We do have some place to put that, so we're going to use this. If we do the redstone next, we should have enough redstone. We can do it next. Let's have them start to bring in the redstone for that. That would make a huge difference. So let's do 1024. I don't think we can do this like this. I think we actually have to do it in sections, but let me see. No, look at that. There it goes. It's saying it's delivering. So we're going to get some of it. So that did work. And let's come back to technology. And I think we're not going to have any room for anything else if we're going to take on the redstone. So we'll do that. This says 128, and that is the inventory, and we have it. But it says this research cannot be done. Oh, of course not, because I don't have it on me. Hold on a second. Let's come here, and let's take these two, and we'll put them over here. How many are we researching now? We're researching 2. Let's just leave these so that we continue to have research. I want to see if it's research that makes the mana grow. Because if it is, that would explain why no one's growing. And that would mean that it wasn't some change in the code. That was just me speculating. That would mean that they just haven't been doing any research, and that's why they're not growing. So we'll see if that is the case. If it is, then Khalid and River will actually get more mana during this time, and we'll find out. We will find out. Okay, so that's all that I'm going to do as a player. So I'm going to come back in here and change into my magical self and become a mermaid again. So we'll come here and we'll do the spell, and there we are. So now I am a mer again, recognizable by my people. Okay. Let's see. So I can try, it's already daytime, so I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. I'll have to wait until breakfast, and we'll begin to go to the different restaurants and see if we can figure out how they're doing. Hi.
Hi, was not the expected package.
What was it?
VA.
The what?
VA. Small percussion instrument requiring signature.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah, every once in a while
Yeah.
they get somebody
Things honest.
who says, you're really supposed to sign for this. Yeah, so that's good. Okay. All right, look, we have a visitor. It's Razor or Riser. Or Reezer, Sheezen. And can I get them to stop for a minute? Let me see. I should have a picture with them already, but let me just try and get a selfie for, yeah, let me get a selfie for my dear Jelly Bean, if I can. This is always complex because it's the exact opposite of the way that I usually am. And so it takes me a little bit to maneuver into position, and usually they keep changing. They keep changing where they're going and what they're doing. But see that right there? That's as close as I'm going to get right there to a shot. And so we'll let it go at that. So Jelly Bean will be happy. I should start putting them up on Discord, all of the visitors that we've seen. Who's this? Beatrix, I think you can go back to work. Let's get Beatrix to go back to work. She was working in the... Yeah, no, I don't think so. So Beatrix was lecturing. And then there, it was more important for the kids to be enrolled. Let me see if there's any room yet. There might be. Yay! Okay, so Beatrix can now go back to lecturing, and the kids are all in school, and we still have room. So if Atticus didn't want to travel, but I think that where we moved at, how did she get up there? I thought I removed all of those, but that's okay. They can't get hurt.
Great.
There. I removed some of the ladders because they all wanted to climb up to the very top of the ladders. And that brings us back to Atticus, where we were going to check. Yeah, we were going to check and see if he was now close enough to actually work. And then we can look at the frogs. Then we can go look at the frogs. I just heard frogs, so I want to go look. We're in the Museum of Natural History, which Eli is taking care of when he is not doing research. And let's
The
come
food was
out.
great today.
Oh, excellent. Wow, okay. That's good to hear. There's Dylan, one of the submarine techs, probably coming down to work on Atticus's ship. And Atticus is 94. That made it worse. So moving Atticus and her to that location made it worse. So we're going to have the Atticus lecture. He's going to teach about the Nether to the students, the university students who are here now. We have room for him to actually teach about the Nether. We only have 9. We can have 10. And so Atticus is going to be here. So we have 6 kids and 4 teachers, and 2 of the librarian and the everyone's going home. They're running home. The librarian and the teacher are still using classrooms for lecturing, and that's the 12 actually. So there are 2 other teachers plus, and this is where Fabian is teaching out of this hall, and Ariana, who's the teacher, she's at the primary school. What she's doing is she is doing research on the kids. She is essentially doing research on groups of kids that come in, and in order to make the next group of kids come out more successfully, she studies the nature of orphans, is what she's studying, and how the kids recover in the situation that they're in when they are taught the way that we teach here, so that that can be used in other cities to recover children who don't have any parents because their cities are gone. The city that they came from are gone. And that is my lore. That's the story that I tell with Minecolonies in regards to my game of Minecraft that I'm playing. The lore of my city is that. So everybody is situated in that respect. Let's see if we can rescue anyone. We're looking for druids to rescue, and let's see if we can. There's Amura. Let's see her stats. So what we're looking for is focus. Our focus is 10. She's getting ready to leave. She has a lot of other abilities, so she's not going to have any trouble getting. They're not going to choose her to be a druid first, so we don't have to worry about her. Oh, a Van Ast. We actually have Van Asts here. So this is a relative who's visiting, and they probably don't want to stay, although the focus is 20, but the mana is down. So with that kind of focus and no mana, they would be doing other jobs. So they're just visiting family here. Nancy and Spencer are Van Asts, and so they're probably visiting. Chana, let's look at Chana for a second and see. The focus is 12, the mana is 15. She would be, but she's still a kid, so she could change her mind about what she's studying in school. And we would probably suggest to her if to increase her skills in some other areas if she does not want to be a druid. And so she's probably coming here to see if she does become a druid, but she doesn't want to fight. Would she like living here? Did we look at, nope, we did not. Focus is 25. Wow. But the mana is only 14. And so we're going to say that she'll be able to get work. They're not going to choose her as a druid. And Arden, let's look at Arden. And Arden's mana is, whoa. Okay, so Arden might be looking for, I haven't had a Clark in a long time. Arden is either looking to be here, but look what she wants. She wants 14 magic books. We have 14 magic books, so that's not a problem. The problem is she going to steal them or is she going to stay? So I have magic. This is my story. I can give her the books magically. If she intends to steal them, when she reaches the border, they'll just turn to dust. If she stays, then I will exchange them out for real books. So let's see if she wants to stay. Let's come here and look what just happened there. Hold on a minute. I think she just, no, we didn't recruit. Ready? And she did want asylum. She actually wanted asylum. So this is good. She's going to the tavern to get a room because it's nighttime, and we're going to give her one right here. There she is. Now, we've had Clarks in Omo, which was one of the desert harbor cities, and the Clarks were actually makers. She's got a lot of interesting skills, so we'll see how she wants to do that. I don't know that we have room right now at the university for her to just get a little bit of acclimation. In other words, for her to kind of get, learn about who we are and what we do. Let's see if we have any space for her. Here we do. Yay. Okay. So we can take Arden right now, and we'll have to wait until Arden finishes or one of the kids finish before we do anything else with getting some more, rescuing some more druids. And this is a druid asylum. So this is an asylum city. They can come here and they don't have to be druids. So even though she has all those, she has that amazing druid ability, she might want to do something else, and she's not going to be given the opportunity. And here we go. This is phosphorylation. I might be saying it wrong. I'm sorry about that if I am. Hello and welcome. This is Minecraft with the Minecolonies mod, and we are showing a druid sanctuary city that is essentially has a Star Trek sort of economy. We're trying to keep it running. So I am doing good. I'm kind of hoping that everything that's going on today, May Day in the United States, is going well. And thank you for asking. How are you? How are you doing? And let's come here. And we'll go here. Yeah. So this is the story that I tell. Minecolonies is a mod added on to Minecraft that allows you to build cities and tell stories because it's very sandbox, so you can do a whole bunch of things with it. And so this is the story that we tell. I am an ambassador from a mob nation, mobs. If you play Minecraft, mobs, skeletons, endermen, witches, zombies, and mermaids. And I am from a mermaid nation of Tana. Excellent, excellent. I'm glad to hear that. And this is who I am. Right here, we're going to show you. There I am. The water is really cold here. And so because the water is cold, it makes my tail very dark. And this, my being able to have a tail is a mod called Mermod, which is available for Minecraft. And I love it. So yeah, so that's part of my story, that I am an ambassador and that my job was to make treaties with the mobs that then protect the city. And let's go up and we'll just look at the city. This city is from Never. Wow. Well, you'd be surprised. There are so many mods, and you can go out to CurseForge and you can find so many different mods for Minecraft, and this is one of them where you can make cities. So I've been working on this since November. Hold on. Let me look at something here. Wow. So this is interesting. I can call you Shadow. Okay. I'll gladly call you Shadow. Thank you. And this is very interesting. This is actually the alchemist is experimenting with mixing trees to grow in the frozen. Oh, this is not. Oh my gosh. What? Whoa. Our skyrises are growing. Our skyrises are growing in frozen water. Wow. That is a shocking surprise. So let me show you why this is a surprise. These are druids, and so what we've done here is to actually, let's come in here. We've actually made forests inside this underwater facility specifically. Let me get my eyes to come back. There we go. I get siren sight when I go in the water, but I have to turn it off. I have to wait for my eyes to adjust when I get back. So these trees were planted here to give them a feeling of home. We have a couple different places. That didn't sound right. That sounded like someone falling. But maybe it wasn't. Oh, maybe she was feeding the fish, because that's a trapdoor. So maybe that's what I heard. So we have forests, botanical gardens. And here's one of them right here. This is our Spirit Woods Botanical Garden right here. And then down here, see where those trees are? This is this botanical garden. Those trees are growing up from this garden up into the sky. Oh my gosh. And look at this. Look at the, I saw this the other day, that they had these pieces on them. And I was like, what is this? Skyris vines. Wow. Well, this is a wild surprise. The biomes we've gone has the trees. And the trees is a part of the biomes, and it just updated. And so this is actually the result of this. And this is outrageous. It's outrageous. Mr. Villager, I'm so glad you're back. Let me show you this. I wonder if it's going to happen to some of the other trees. That is just really wild. I'm not sure I want these trees breaking through the roof right here, but we'll check on some of the others for just a minute. Let's go out here. That I could be a good teacher? Oh, Shadow, thank you. That's very sweet of you to say. I consider that a compliment. Teachers are amazing people. And that would be something. Mr. Villager, look. This is the botanical garden trees growing outside of the garden, up through the roof. See, they grew up through the roof, and they're producing fruit and everything. Look at this. This is wild. Oh my goodness. In the middle of the frozen waters. So, this is the kind of magic that druids do. They love trees, and apparently these trees are pretty loved here. Now, if the other trees start doing that, we might have a problem. But we'll see how it is. For instance, right over here, there is a ceiling, a glass ceiling down here, and there are trees underneath this ceiling, and we'll see what happens. We'll see if we start having a problem with it. I don't see any evidence of that so far. I'm looking at some of our other areas to see, but so far it just seems like the skyrises took off and had a fit. And we could go over to, you know what it means? You can't believe those things can actually survive in the frost. I think that they've been treated. It's a symbol of adaptation. It is. I agree with you. It is absolutely an adaptation. And that is what our alchemist is actually working on. Remember over here, our alchemist has a tree that was growing, that she was growing. And it was an experiment. And see her tree right here? But this tree is special. How long have I been playing Shadow? I've been playing probably since 7. Since Minecraft 7. I was playing Minecraft Lord of the Rings, and when it was rumored that Lord of the Rings was going to update or go away because Minecraft was updating and there was no one to update Lord of the Rings, Vincentius Primus found me, started looking for something for me to play that was like Lord of the Rings, and he found this. He found Millionaire, and I tried that, but I preferred Minecolonies much better. At the time, I preferred Minecolonies, and so I started playing around that time of Minecolonies, and it has grown a whole lot since then. I mean, it did not start out looking like this. It has grown into this, which has been really nice. And Mr. Villager, you played it since 1.13, but you knew it since back farther. Yeah. Mr. Villager has played for a long time. Yeah, they're completely different, Millionaire and Minecolonies, but they're both really cool mods for having people live in your cities, and that's what we both like. Mr. Villager and I are doing sort of a Dungeons and Dragon, where he is a member of another group of cities, and we are both ambassadors. I'm treating him as an ambassador from his cities in Millionaire, and we take time to trade and to discuss governing, to discuss government, and it's really fun. You've only played Java on your friend's account. Yeah. Yeah, this is definitely the Java version of this for sure. Let me look at something for a minute. I see the halftime here. Let me just take a sip for a moment. You thought Millionaire and Minecolonies were like rivals. Oh yeah. I could see how it would seem that way. But most of the time it's just a different style of playing. Rivalry would mean that there was I guess they could be rivals, but like football rivals or something. You know, they want to be the best. But mostly game developers are just developing the best thing that they can develop until they don't feel like it anymore. And that's usually what happens with them. This is the, what are these trees? What trees did we use? I think we used stripped, so I don't think we're going to worry about these. Yes, these are cypress, but they're stripped to make the, to make them look like they are, where are they? Didn't we have little baby ones? But I don't think we do anymore. Those are yuccas. And the yucca trees, the saplings look like this, but I don't think I have a place for them. That's what happened. That the only place we have is sand. Those are yucca trees, and so we were putting in, ooh, do you see that? Do you see those right there? Those are coming down from the trees we planted. This shouldn't be here. These oak logs weren't here. These trees are growing. Oh my gosh. Vincentius. Yes. I updated the biomes. They had an update called the trees. And I updated, and the trees underwater are growing. In the botanicals, the trees are growing. It is interesting because we're underwater in the frozen. But that is absolutely the yucca leaves producing the bark on this. That is pretty. Really? Mr. Villager, you're asking that question? Hold on. Mr. Villager. You're 15, Shadow? Your parents don't want you to have a bank account? It's a little young. I didn't have one. I think I didn't have one until I started working. And then I had to have one for work. And that's probably what happened. But yeah. All right, so, I'm going to have to check all of the trees now and see. Now, some of the trees like this, you see what happened with them. The leaves automatically regenerated the trees. I'm going to have to watch this tree because based off of what's going on, this tree is probably going to grow. So we'll see. So you have to wait a few years until you can get Java. Yeah. Well, it'll be fun when you do. You didn't have one until you were 9, or you didn't have one? You got one at 9? Is that what you're saying, Mr. Villager? Let's go here. Hold on, I'm gonna cough. Okay, sorry about that. Thank you. I was coughing there for a minute. We are going to have to watch all these trees. So druids are magical people. Oh, see that right there? I see green coming out I see green coming out above this in the glacier. Oh my gosh. Whoa. This is going to be so wild. Okay, sorry about that. I got a little too excited. Yes, Mr. Villager. Wait a second. Yeah. You sadly have to go because it's night. Okay. I'm glad you did. I'm glad you were able to stay for a little while, Shadow. And thank you very much. Thank you for being in chat. And I hope you have a nice night. And yeah, I'm glad. Yeah, please do. Okay. Yeah, definitely. Take care. Have a good rest. And let's see here. And here we go. I'm going to look at these for just a minute and see if I see any evidence. I don't see any evidence of the spirit trees. doing that. And we have spirit trees in the ground, babies. So we'll see what happens with that. Bye. We'll see if those come in. Now we have willows and we have the sakuras. Let's go back and check the Sakura Botanical Garden. This is going to be interesting because now the sakuras aren't breaking through, and that's good for now, but we'll have to watch all of the trees just to make sure that we maintain the integrity. Now these have cobble on top. We might actually have to put cobble. Remember that cobble used to stop the growth of trees, didn't it? I wonder if the cobble is keeping these trees from growing in. We'll check. We'll have to check and see how that is. It's nighttime. Oh my gosh. I went up to look, Mr. Villager. I was showing Shadow the town from the surface, and I saw that, and it was like I thought that was Jesse's tree, but it is not. Wow. Oh, well, I don't think so. Look at this. There's actual, but it wasn't where the tree was. So these trees grew up through the concrete. They grew up through the concrete. Now, trees actually do grow up through concrete. So that is fascinating. Hold on. A heated paradise? You mean that this part of the ocean would be warm? Is that what you're saying? Because they already have heat where they are, and it's already melting the ice. But we're not really trying to, it wasn't our intention to make this into some summer place. It was only our intention to have land that did not belong to the skeletons. And so we do. We have land that doesn't belong to the skeletons because it is actually ocean. And so they have no jurisdiction over this land. But to heat it to that degree would mean that all of these polar bears would lose their habitat. And the salmon that come here, salmon go to cold places in the winter to spawn. They go up to the Arctic. That's why there's so much salmon in Alaska and in Norway and places like that. So we're not interested necessarily in changing the entire environment here. We're just, I'm just shocked that the magic of the druids is strong enough to get that tree to bloom from underwater and come all the way up to the surface. Now, if it seems like it's going to get taller than this, we may in fact put some string on top of it to keep it from growing up farther. But I think this is the top. I think this is how far it is. But look, it has fruit. What kind of apples are those? They're Granny Smiths. Oh, that's excellent. We have Granny Smith apples from those trees. That's amazing. So we could come out and pluck those and have those as a kind of apple. Maybe make some kind of... Let me see what we can do with Granny Smith. That's not coming up. Let's come over here. That's not coming up. Let's look at apples. They're listed. Oh, it's listed as a green apple. Okay. But I don't know that we can make food with them yet. I don't think so. No, so there isn't any reason. We can make a green apple pie. Look, do you see that? The Minecolonies chef can actually make the green apple pie. Wow. Well, that's cool. We don't need a green apple pie right now, but that is an interesting thing to think about. That absolutely is. Okay, Mr. Villager, second. What some of us heard before we left Prasno, it was one of their aspirations for Arnaaluk. Some of the druids, druids protect animals and protect trees and plants. So I don't think a real druid would want to change the environment of the polar bears that we've been protecting. And I don't think a real druid would want to affect the salmon. And so, yeah, you think if it wasn't by the egg, the chef wouldn't be able to do it? No, Minecolonies actually does do, the biomes. They do Farmer's Delight. And I think they do some Pams. So since that food is actually the biomes, you're saying not only the druids, you mean maybe less of them, but most of the citizens at the cities wanted it. In Prasno? But Prasno is a druid city. Prasno is the city that that Tucker wanted to be a druid, and that's why he moved to a grove city, so that he would attract druids. So most of the people who came to Prasno would have wanted to knew what Tucker wanted the city to be, and they would want that. We don't have to. The world is big enough that we don't have to make a winter place a summer one. We don't have to do that. Uh-oh, see that there? Look at that. Look what we've got. The druid's magic touch. Ooh, what is that coming out of? Oh my gosh, which tree is this? This is the Zelkova. So we have Zelkova trees growing up. Wow. This is going to be really strange. We're going to try an experiment. We may have to try an experiment to see. It's impressionistic. It's weird. I agree with you. It's definitely weird. This tree is not, notice it's one of the darker trees because it's frozen here. So this is what the Zelkova looks like when it's frozen. The other tree is surviving in this cold weather and actually having apples, but the Zelkova is not. The Zelkova is being affected by the fact that it's cold. I have to decide what I'm going to do about that, even at its format. I know. I have to figure out, let's see if we have any others. I have to figure out what I want to do about that. It might mean that we have to have some way of controlling the botanical gardens so that they don't grow out the way this is. That is absolutely growing through the stone here. Now there's stone on this part. Why didn't it grow up through? See, it's red, but because it's cold here, the leaves are brown. What can I do about that? Ah, see, there's a tree. This tree right here. Oh, and look at that. This is what I was afraid of. Okay, this tree, the trees that were over here, it was too cold and they stopped growing. Let's close this here and let me check this one. Let's see if there's another place. Sure enough, there it is right there. We'll close this one also. So the tree was able to get out on this side, but on this side over here, it didn't get out. And so that's what happened. Wow. Isn't that wild? So only one of the trees survived that popped out to the surface. What can I do about that? This is growing on, let me see if this one, the one that popped out, let me find it for a second. Did it just go away? Ooh, hold on for a second. Where did that tree go? Hold on, let's come over here. Did that tree just go away? No, wait, we need to go this way. Hold on. That is really strange. Let's come here and let's go out. I want to see something. What it looks like is that the trees that were there couldn't survive in this weather and it killed them. But they were connected to the outside. I just closed up 2 holes right here. So what I want to see is what's underneath this tree right here. It looks like it's not planted. Let's see if it's planted in dirt. It sure is. That's the problem. Ah, some of them are planted in dirt. And the ones that are planted in dirt are actually growing. Whoa. Let's come over here. I think that these... I don't think that this one... It's showing dirt right there. But the tree wasn't planted in dirt, I bet. I bet we just planted the tree. Ah, now that is an interesting hint. So if we don't want this to happen, how far are you going to grow? If we don't want that to happen, we can take the dirt away from under the trees. Let me come over here and see. I just want to see if that's the same over here, that they're actually planted in dirt. Yep, they sure are. Okay, that's really wild. However, and this is the weird part, the ones that were planted, now these aren't planted in dirt, I don't think. See those over there? I don't think they're planted in dirt. Oh yes, they are. Okay. I don't know what to do about that. This is going to be wild. I actually don't know what to do about those. Let's take these away here for a second. We have that. I'm going to bring, put something here underneath where the dirt is on these. Can I get that one? Yes. Okay. Here's dirt over there. I can't reach. Oh, I did. Okay, good. This is interesting. I don't actually know what to do. Hold on. Considering, Mr. Villager is saying in chat, considering these trees are proof of our Arnaaluk and our personal objectives for our own future, we would like to make an offer, a big one. And before that, he said there's no need to contain what the nature has given you unless it's those abnormal or powerful trees sprouting out of the gardens. We'll see. We'll see what effect they have. So the Skyra seems to be okay with the freezing cold water, but this Sakura was not, and is not surviving. However, we'll see what happens with some of the others. Now the trees that are planted in here, I believe they're not planted in dirt, and that's why they didn't grow. And any future trees that we plant, we probably won't do one. You want to make an offer, a big one? Okay, Mr. Villager, I'm listening. What would you offer? What would you like to offer? No, I'm listening. Wow. I can't get over it. Mr. Villager is writing. I should say typing. And we're waiting for him for a minute. Oh my gosh. That is just so crazy. Oh my goodness, talk about magic. Wow. That's stunning magic. It really is. And those trees are gorgeous. They absolutely are. And it's a shame about the sakuras, that they're not surviving. Uh-oh. Because if that tree is gone, that means that it's flooding over there. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Okay. Let's see. For a guarantee in the future through expansion of domain for when one day you are, Mr. Villager is talking about his people. They're sustainable enough. We would like to ask me, and so let's see what he's talking. Mr. Villager's people want to ask a question. This waterfall was always here, this one. This wave will go away when this building gets finished. We'll take this wave down, that tidal wave that we have there. And this tree, sadly, is not happy about the frozen water. And that's probably why the other trees didn't come up, because the water's freezing here. It's snowing in this area. In the, is it snowing in the other area? Because we have some areas that are a little bit warmer. Is it raining or snowing? It is snowing, so yeah. That's interesting. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And here we go. Hold on. Mr. Villager is asking if his people could use this area as a trampoline for future expeditions, as also expedition support during future colonization and extraction. Okay. Mr. Villager is English is a second language, and he's doing a really good job. Yeah, you can. Remember, your people were here before, and for those of you who haven't been here before, Mr. Villager's people were actually, he had ancestors who were actually on the coast. Let's look at the map. So where we are, this coastline, and of course I changed maps so it's not showing the entire coastline right now. I'd have to go back out to the Black Ice coastline, where we did have colonies, did have villager cities or towns there, villager villages, I guess that's the correct way to put it. And a tsunami actually wiped out one of the coastlines going in this direction. And Mr. Villager, I'm going to read what he's saying for a minute. And as a resource supplier also for our own territory, together with Prasino, Rosaoru, and any related cities, and as a pilgrimage spot for wandering traders. Yes, it's fine. Absolutely. So this is what happened after the tsunami. the water froze over some areas and produced black ice. Luckily, the villages were warned, and it was really interesting. It was almost in the story like a magic thing, because Mr. Villager came to get the ancestors before this happened. And then is that my imagination? Mr. Villager, does it look like they rebuilt this? Look at what this looks like. I don't remember this being this big. Remember afterwards? What in the world? Oh my gosh. So this was one of the buildings that was damaged by the tsunami, and it looks like it's been rebuilt. How is that even possible? Oh my gosh. How is that even possible? Hold on, let's look at the map. So there were 3 kingdoms on the coast, and oops, sorry, I'm not used to this. And where this black ice is where the castles used to be. And a couple of the castles took to the air and became zeppelins to save the people. A couple of the Illager towers between these 2 castles were wiped out, and then new Illager places began where the wise women were. Exactly. That area was one of the areas that got a lot of damage from the storm. And this is all, believe it or not, growing back in this area after the tsunami. But this is strange, isn't it, Mr. Villager? Look at this. Now there's the black ice right there, and this is on the other side of the black ice. This is grown since then. Wow. Wow. This is pretty amazing. They left? Oh no, remember, Mr. Villager, we found them. The ones that left with you, and then we found your village. And your village is out here. Let's look at the map for a minute. We actually found the village out here, and we can go out in this area and look for it again. Wow, that was not that size. People, you can go back and look at the videotape. There is actually video, so we can see the size of these things. And it's like, I don't remember it being that big. That is so spectacular. So let's go, let's look at the map for a minute, and let's come here. Let's head west for a minute, because, yeah, let's head in this direction. Remember when we brought Bubbles out here? Remember when we brought the axolotl back? A lot of this out here is looking like the trees have grown and changed, and a lot of stuff out here. It looks different, but we did have villages. We had 2 villages out in this area, and they should still be here unless they moved on. What's interesting? I can't get over this. It's possible that they moved on. See these trees? Do you remember these being here? This is cypress. Remember we had that beautiful valley area? What's interesting? What is interesting? Tell me. We're still heading... Wait, I saw something. Hold on, let's look at the map. What did I just see? See right there? Let's go to the... Let's go in that direction. I believe that those are probably not villagers. That those are actually... Am I looking at these frogs? I am. I thought I was seeing something else. This is stunning. So Mr. Villager is saying, you know what is interesting too? And he's going on to say, we decided to check on periodically around the areas where we lived first, your first home, and your first try to settle a true bastion. Yeah, I remember that. And let's come this way. Let me see. Those are frogs. So we're going to see some animals. We're not seeing a lot of animals. There's another portal there. I see that. Let's go over. We should be able to go straight west and see and show villages. So let's put show villages on and see if we can find some. Let's see how that works. But right now we're going west. We're going to the west because to the west was where we found one little village that was actually looked like your people. Because the ones that were originally here, we found both your village and we found Zaf's village. So we found, I think we found the remnants. We found Zaf's people, and then because they were the ones that had cows, remember? And then we found where your village used to be, but we did not find them. I'm just going back to that same place. I just did a circle. I didn't go any place. I'm supposed to be going west. At least I think this is west. I'm not used to this map. Hold on. But let's see. Let's turn west and go back this way as far as we can go tonight. We're going to stay. Wait, we're not going west. Hold on. Now we're going west. Okay. We're going this way as far as we can go. And that keeps taking us to here. But on the map, what is going on with this map? Okay. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so that's not west. We're gonna go east. We're trying to get away from that. So we're going to go this way. And so Mr. Villager is saying what was found when they went back to look at their first home, the first place that they wanted to set up their city. And Mr. Villager is saying some of their cartographers went there, said cracks and ravines have opened near the walls, near the ruins, and discovered a huge cave system underground of your old place. Wow. Okay, so this is where Mr. Villager's people used to be. They were right across here, but the black ice came in this area. And so let's look at this. So if we see the black ice right here, and so that was one of the places. But this palace was here and was pretty much unharmed, I think. But they also had this is where they were before they rebuilt the palace, right there. And sure enough, right here is one of the Illagers sites where they've decided, I guess they don't want to build another tower. They've decided not to build one of the big dark towers anymore, or it takes a long time to build one. And so the Illagers are here instead in this location. And if we stay here long enough, there we go, we will see them come out, which is beyond creative. Those people are appearing beyond creative, which is pretty amazing. They can't do anything to me because of the treaty that I have with their people, but they are, we do see them actually forming right there. And so we actually went up, remember? And we went aboard this ship at the time. So out from this area, this is around the area where we found where Bubbles could go home. But let's look at the map again and see. I do believe that the places we found would now be west of where we are. So now we can go west here, but we're going to go a little bit northwest and see if we can find the town. That is so interesting that your cartographers found all these huge cave systems underneath your original home area. That is pretty wild. Now I remember when this was here, we saw this part, and I thought we went beyond this, but I'm not seeing anything. The landscape just seems so different. Everything's grown up so much since we were here last, because remember, everything was recovering from the flooding and the change. And it looks like I'm not probably going to be able to find them again. Wow, I wonder if that means that they moved, although if I went beyond in this direction, it looks like I'm going the wrong way. Let's try going the opposite way. So it looks like south. Let's go north. I think the map is facing different from the way I think it is. So I just have to get used to it. We changed to journey map from Zero's map because we were trying to see if there was an actual conflict between them. And I'm not sure. I can't necessarily say that there was. So there's that temple. That's the big one right there in the trees, set in the trees right here. Oh no, it's not. Oh yes, it is. Okay, So let's go. So let's continue northeast. And this should take us farther out for just a moment. There's the other. This is where there was another huge dark tower that doesn't exist anymore in this area. Let's continue this way for a moment. And now we are, now see, this is matching. We are headed towards the ice on this part. So where are we on this map? Aha. Okay, so we are headed that way. So if this is south and this is north, we actually want to go this way. So we want to go away from those. And which way is that? That's saying it's south this way. So we want to go this way. A little bit east and see what I can find. And now Mr. Villager is saying, curiously, part of our first temporary homes were in place where the main ravine, some of our most skeptical believed that we were really lucky to have evacuated. At least the good news is the system seems to lead away from the wall ruins of your first settlement. Try, so the soil should be safe. Are you thinking of going back to that area? Let's see which way we're going. We are going in the correct direction, so we want to continue to go east for a little bit and see if we can find the little valley that there it is. There it is. Yay, we found it. Okay, well, at least we know that it's the same world. Oh my gosh. But this is where Zaf's people came. This is where they have cows. And so we knew that this was Zaf's little village. So they either got the word from the animals. Animals sometimes know and start moving, and so that's probably what happened. They have horses now. Cool. I think they had horses then the last time I was here. But yeah, so they seem to be, oh, they're doing well. These weren't here before. These seem like they were added. This little house right here and some things. So they might actually be growing. And yes, so these are, this is the town that recovered, that used to be on the coastline where the black ice is. But they moved here to be protected. And so that's excellent. That's excellent. Let me see. So now I'm headed back to our city. Well, we don't know. Your people are pretty divided, Mr. Villager is saying. Some say the treat of Alan has ended. The threat. You mean the threat of Alan has ended and you should go back. Why? Why would you go back? And let me just ask, I'm asking this question. Why would you go back? Why do you want to leave where you are just at the point where everyone is kind of settled? Where didn't you invite those other people from those 5 villages to come join? And didn't some of them come join you as well? Stable opening walls, even if there are still monsters. But I thought you conquered the monsters where you are. Don't you have the same kind of situation where you are already? Where that's interesting that they would want to go. See, you can see in some of these areas here where the ice is. Where the ice, this black ice is the tsunami. The tsunami ice. I'm just curious why that original location, it took you practically half a year to travel to get to the place where you are now. The crevices were pretty less threatening, and thanks for correcting, that's okay, on the word. Less than where you are now? How can that be? I pretty much probably could imagine that it's exactly the same as where you are now, because the description of the place is very similar to the description of the place that you're in now, as far as crevices and a deep place. And the place that you are now actually had some mines, didn't it? Some old mine areas. And another, this is Mr. Villager talking. Another screams and steps, we must stay where we are, even though there is a huge hole near us. Aren't there always huge holes near villages? Isn't that the nature of villages? That there's always some big opening somewhere? We're going to come down and go in. This is the dairy farm, and when it is a level 5, right now it is only a level 3 or 3.5. It's probably a 3.5 that Elena is working on. When it's a level 5, we don't need the water system up here, so we will have that system go away at level 5. But we can't do it until level 5, because all that will happen is it will simply be rebuilt. And so we don't necessarily want it to be rebuilt right now. So we'll just have her continue working on it. And it's Elena who's working. And let's come here just for a second. I'm going to read the chat for at least. And for last, there are those who believe we should just keep wandering, looking for some sort of promised land where we could finally be free of every threat. Okay, so is that actually possible, Mr. Villager, in the server that you belong to? Is it possible to go somewhere where no one is going to threaten your people? Is that possible at all? That would be the one question to answer for sure. Are these popping out? I can't tell what that is over there, whether that is actual trees or actual glaciers. No, those are glaciers. Those are glaciers right here. This is the huge glacier on the farm district area, and that glacier is intact. And we'll come here, unless you're just going to be like the Romany, unless you're going to be like the Romany and you're going to actually just go ahead and be wandering traders, a group of traders, 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 where like the ones that have the llamas, that your people are just going to wander like that. They're the smallest group wanting to keep wandering, so you think you shouldn't do it. Yeah. I think that the grass is always greener, that's where that comes from. That sometimes it looks like something is going to be better. You know where that location is. It doesn't matter if that person is gone. That location is susceptible to other players coming in and deciding to take Alan's place. That's what I would say. That just because he's not there anymore doesn't mean that someone else isn't going to come along and have the same idea that he did. And that it took you so long to get to the location that you are at, that it deserves some chance, especially since you have people now as a part of your town who this is where they're from. They're actually from this area, and can help the people who aren't from this area to acclimate, to actually be able to understand the area. And here's an interesting thing to think about, Mr. Villager, that you found 5 villages that were there, and that means that they were there, they were living there. And yes, illagers came, but those villages were there, 5 of them. That is a strong presence in the area that you're in. And that's a very interesting thing, and you might want to consider what that might mean for everything. Hannah's exhausted.
I'll take care of it.
No, you don't have to. You can stay there for now. But yeah, that you are now a blended community. You invited the survivors of those other villages to join you, and they were here already. They were where you were already. And so they could be one of 2 things. They could either be the ones who want the adventure to go off somewhere, or they could be the ones who want to stay. They could be both. But there's always going to be people who want to stay and people who want to wander. The people who want to wander should be traders. Offer them trade routes and say that this will be their home, that they can come back to. But I'm not sure I would. You asked, so I'm going to say I'm not sure that I would find some argument for the fact that the people who are asking to go have not been on the road, and they should be educated by the people who have been on the road. And then if they still want to be on the road, then offer them trade, to become traders. Give them some llamas. And yeah, this is the cost of growth you didn't expect. In what way? In that they're unhappy and they don't want to be where you are? Is that it? And then I'm not sure I understand millionaire. I'm not sure I understand how millionaire works then. Because doesn't anyone want to settle down?
Good to see you.
What's the matter, Elaine? You can't find food? Where are you going to get food? What time of day is it? It's nighttime, so she's not going. Let me see where she's going. She's going back to her place. Okay. I believe that this is her station. It is. And we'll almost always, almost all. Because normally you don't see villagers wandering. Most of the time you see villagers just being villagers. But if they want to leave, they do so. And that's what happens, that in Millionaire, if they don't like what's going on, they leave. And how many want to leave? How many actually want to leave? Is it too many that you need to go with them? Or is it a small amount? Is there such a thing in Millionaire that you can talk them out of it? Can they be persuaded by something to stay and to find out what's going to happen? Let's take this tree here. This tree is actually planted on the ground right here. So we're going to plant this tree back right in this spot and right here. We're just going to plant them back. They shouldn't grow up, and we'll see what happens with that. Here, right? Oops. Ooh, I kind of like that root being there. And here, this is planted in the concrete. I think that's keeping them from growing. Let's come over here and see. There's that one. There's the one. So this tree is the tree that's growing, the one that's actually planted, but all the others aren't. And that's how we're going to have to do it. Let me do the calculation. Okay. And see. That's interesting. So there's what we'll have to make sure of in the other cities. And I think we'll go down to the yucca city, the yucca plants, and look and see, and maybe we'll put them, since we know that they grew, we can try and get them to stop by, no, let's go over this way, and we can go through here. Now the spirit trees are, some of them are on, but it might be too cold for them. And that's what's happening. But the oaks, I completely understand. And the skyris seems to be something for frozen. So here's the numbers. Mr. Villager is giving in chat. 25 approve. We return to any of our old homes. 38 support. We stay. 7 support. We become wandering traders and resume our own lives all alone out there. So the 7 are definitely outvoted. The 25 are outvoted, and they would leave. So that means that your city would be down to 38 people. Now, would they leave if they know that they haven't persuaded the rest of the city? Are they just going to leave anyway? Is there no way to persuade them? Because right now they don't have enough. If this was an election or a vote, they actually don't have enough. Now this one isn't growing, but this one is. And if they don't stop growing up above, why don't we do it now? We're going to remove the dirt from underneath these to keep them, to stop them from growing up. And we'll see this one here. And we'll look for the ones where the dirt is so we can keep them from growing up. There we are. And this one here we could tell because it has the vines on it. And so that'll keep them pretty much confined to where they are right now. And we'll see how long they stay like that. But that was pretty wild. Okay, and now Mr. Villager is saying sometimes during the meetings, most of the people just stare at those who want to keep wandering. So I don't think they have too much of a chance of convincing anyone. Oh, and 29 hesitated during the vote. Most elders, because they've been through it and they don't wanna. But they don't want to feel like, because they're elders, they don't want to feel like they're stopping the young people from doing something if all of them want to do it. Maybe they have the stamina for it. Maybe that's what the elders are thinking. So that's a pretty big city that you have, a pretty big town. So 25, 38, 7, and 29. So in a way, you could say that the 29 who abstained, you think they're considering their own well-being. Exactly. They're essentially saying that they're staying. So the 29 and the 38, that is a decent amount of people. And I think that's your answer right there. I definitely do. Let's see this. Let me see if you... Yep, it is planted in sand. So we're going to remove that part. We can have the sand here. I think it has to be directly under for it to continue to grow out. We can have the sand here. And that tree is gone from there. If we wanted, we could put the tree back, but I think we're okay with where those are. Let's take this one away here, and that gives us that. And here, where this is, let's take this one and put this, whoops, put that under there, and then we can put this back in right here. Okay, did I get them all? I did get that one. And I think I did. I think I got them. Right, I'm gonna not have that come down. Ah, here we go. So we'll take that one away and put that in. All right. We're just making sure that our trees don't grow out. Was that sand? I think, or was that this? It might have been that, but we'll do sand. There. I think we've got them all for right now. And now let's look. And so around 79 villagers
How's
in
the work
one
going?
single place. Wow, that's really cool. And Mr. Villager is saying, hold on, we're going to stay here for a minute and look at the yucca here. Mr. Villager is saying, yes, actually, he was one of those who hesitated, by the way. But he agrees the side that is to win is the side that he'll pick, of course, because he's the ambassador. Well, depending on the situation, but you're curving to stay. Well, you kind of have to, because the people, if you took a vote, the people who want to stay are, there are more of them, because it's not just the 38, it's also the 29 who hesitated. They don't want to go either. So the 25 and the 7 are the ones who would be leaving. You still have a pretty decent sized city, town, village. These are villagers. A pretty decent sized village with that, with those numbers, I think. So you could, we're watching the couriers go back and forth here. I think I'm going to check on the kids for a minute and the research, and we'll see. We can look here, and yay, the researchers have begun to investigate haste and vitality, and River is working on the sea truck, which means that she got materials that she needed. Lionel got materials, and Case, all three of them actually got the materials. Do you know who I don't see getting any materials? Hallie. Let's go back to Hallie and see what's going on, why Hallie is not getting what she needs. I won't go through that way. And so Mr. Villager is going on to say, well, most of this population stays away from the camp doing other stuff like hunting and gathering materials in other regions. Most of this population? Interesting. Okay. So there really isn't any reason for, let's do this so that these don't grow out in this section here. We were doing the trees realistically. We were giving them soil that they were actually coming up in these botanical gardens, and it worked. They did. And so we know that that's possible. And there we go. I think we have them all now. Okay. So you're like a bunch of hamlets, but more connected than a common isolated village. Oh, welcome back, teasers. Hello. You're a friend with Larry? Ah, very nice to hear. Well, welcome back. And so we're just going to make sure with some of these trees that they, yay, so Case finished that field. So, you know something, Case is getting his build done. But we don't have to worry about the trees in here because they're actually sculptured trees. They're like bonsais. So we don't have to worry about them. But don't worry. Don't worry about what? Teasers, don't worry about what? And so that's fine. This is also sculptured. These are waxed oaks. So he won't get you. You're saying that, are you talking to Mr. Villager or are you talking to me? Jelly Bean, welcome Jelly Bean, hello. How are you? Jelly Bean, how long have you been here, by the way? Because something wild happened. Something crazy and wild happened. So let me see how long Jelly's been here, if she just arrived or if she's been lurking. And we'll see what's going on. And okay, Mr. Villager. Well, that's good that you're assuring him, because it doesn't matter anyway. Nothing's happening in here. So yeah, you're late. You had to get... Oh no, you just got here. Okay, good. So we'll show you. So, oh, the biomes we've gone has a mod, Oh the Trees, and it's part of Oh the Biomes. And we have those trees as a part of the botanicals. And we were showing the city, and we saw this. Can you see that right there? So we're going to go out. Let's go out. There is a walk out right there. Just had to wait for the streetcar to go by. And we'll do that. And so let's go here. And we'll come down and we'll come out. And so that she can see what we saw. This is what we saw. This right here. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't it beautiful? Do you know what it is? It's the trees growing up through the botanical garden. Look at that. For sure? Okay, cool. Excellent. It's growing up through the botanical garden. And we found another set of trees that were trying to grow up. Isn't it? It's gorgeous. It actually is. And it is an attestament to the magic of the druids. Here's another tree that grew up. This is one of the, okay, I'm going to have to look and see what it is again because I've forgotten. This is a Zelkova. I think I said it was a Sakura. The Zelkova is not happy in the frozen water, and so the leaves are actually brown. And Fur3 Norm, hi, welcome. Aren't they cool? But the trees, this particular tree, the water is too cold, and above the water is even colder. See, there's actually magma in this area, which is making it a little bit warmer. But when the tree got up above, that's the color that the leaves should be, is that red. But these leaves are actually brown. These leaves are dead here. And it's just too cold for them. And so, yeah. And, Villager, Mr. Villager, okay. Take care. We'll see you soon. Yes, exactly. I don't think they could. I think this is a new thing that I updated the app. I updated the mod today, and all of a sudden I've got these trees. So I think this is something that they added where that has to do with the trees being planted in some kind of way that maybe they can't be stopped, because there was stone above these trees. I thought maybe it was just concrete. This isn't concrete, this is diorite above these trees, and it broke through anyway. So in some, you thought it was biomes of plenty. No, you have biomes of plenty because you are in 20 and you're on just CurseForge. But in Neoforge is doing, oh, the biomes we've gone. And yeah, so that it's different. And so we have, oh, the biomes trees as well as their structures. And yeah, that's it. Hi Norm. So yeah, so that's what I was showing the the city, and I saw that those trees over there, and I went over to it thinking that it was going to be the alchemist, and then it turned out to be these. And these are actually Granny Smith apples that are growing on these trees. And we did have some. Now I wonder if the bears are coming. The bears might eat those in this area, although that would be kind of strange because it's not really the type of food that they're used to. They usually do salmon. Wow, that's so weird. Those look like faces for a minute. It's like, what are those faces down there? But they're actually this. They're actually bears are scavengers, so they probably would eat the apples. Even polar bears, because these are polar bears. They aren't too picky. Yeah, so that's going to be interesting. The polar bears in this area are going to have apples to eat. These are Granny Smith apples. When we pick them, they say green, and some on the other side actually said Granny's. Or maybe I just read it that way. That they're Granny Smiths because I want them to be. But they're green. And yeah, but they're the kind of green apples like Granny Smith's, that they're ripe when they're green. And let's come over. I thought that it was Jessie's tree at first, and then it was like, but this isn't the right location. Yes, while polar bears primarily eat marine animals like seals, they also consume terrestrial food sources, garbage of course, and this can include items like apples and plastic and paper, of course. Sigh. But yes, they also forage for other plants, including berries and other vegetation. So yeah, so they will probably eat the apples from those trees, which is really quite amazing. But the other trees, the yuccas, oh, let me show you that. Remember we made the yucca trees had oak as their, let me find a way in for a minute. The yucca trees, we use stripped, here we are. There's an opening right here. We used stripped wood. I think we used stripped cypress to mimic the desert, the trees in the desert. Well, it didn't matter. Their polar bears are carnivores. Regular bears aren't, are they? I think regular bears aren't carnivores. They're more closer to vegetarians, aren't they? But look what happened where the yuccas were, where we had the yucca trees. All of a sudden, we had these oaks here, but they're actually the yucca trees, because that's what these leaves are. And and you see that there? They're actually growing through. So did I fix them? Yes. So they should stop growing because they now don't have any dirt. Since Arnaaluk is garbage free, these ones won't be eating garbage. That is correct. But yeah, no, they definitely won't. And besides, we are protecting the bears as much as possible, their environment. And that's why I have to be careful, a little careful about the trees that are deciding to grow right now. Let's go out again for just a second. I want to look at these yuccas here. they should not like this weather. It's way too cold. The spirit trees are, I think the spirit trees was one, nope, the spirit trees are actually planted. So I'm going to have to remove the dirt from underneath so they don't grow out. And let's just do that for a second, because that's what's making them grow. So we'll just take the dirt away from underneath. Yeah, we were being realistic that they needed dirt, but yeah, nah. As Jawoodle would say, no. We don't really want them to grow like that. So the trees that haven't grown are, in fact, trees that are planted like these. These trees are actually planted on concrete, so they're not going to grow. Last fun fact, in zoos, polar bears may be given fruit, including apples, as part of environmental enrichment and to promote physical activity. Yeah. Interesting. That's curious. I know that sometimes at Halloween, everyone gets pumpkin. And I think that they do too, sometimes during that time period. Let's find the tree that we saw that was growing out somewhere here. Ah, it might be growing into the ice in this area. And so I can't see it. It's growing into the ice. Yeah, it should be maybe right here. So the next time we see it, we'll try and see. I'll just go out from there and see what I can see. Watching big cats and elephants play with pumpkin is fun. Yeah, it is. It is. Who is this? Oh, we have a new roof. That's right. We have a new dome on top, and we did not take off the which is what we will do tomorrow. We are done for today, but let me go back and show Jelly the Zelkova in the daytime. You can see that the leaves are dead. It's too cold for the Zelkova above water, and so even though it grew up, the ones, a couple of the others grew up, but then they died right away. But this one didn't. And it just, it's just decided to stay. So it's pretty amazing seeing that. This is such a curious surprise. You wish they would make the squash family tastier. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's so crazy. But I'm going to add that to the lore of the fact that the druids here are so happy, and that Jessie was doing some experimenting on getting trees to grow at her shop. And so she didn't really think anything was going to happen. And then it did. So this is one of these things all the time when people are doing stuff. So I'll be back tomorrow and Saturday. Tomorrow's Friday. The warehouse is full, and we'll have to take care of that when we come back. And we'll also continue the adventure of these trees growing in the frozen ocean. So thank you everyone for being here. Jelly Bean, thank you for being in chat. I should have said obrigado to Mr. Villager to thank him for being in chat. Teasers was here earlier. He was actually the first one here. And thank you, Teasers, for being in chat. And then we had Shadow, and I think and then we had Norm. So those are the people we had today. Everyone, enjoy your games. Enjoy watching all the other gamers. I do hope that anyone who was expressing themselves today in the United States, I hope everyone stayed safe, and I hope the message gets across that everyone is trying to say in the United States on May Day 2025. So here we go. Bye for now. Thank you very much, Norm. Thank you. And I'll see you all again tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. We've been listening to Drone Hands music. This is Drone Hands music. And tomorrow is Bandcamp Friday. On Friday, the first Friday of the month, Bandcamp, they don't take their cut from the artists. So if you buy music from artists on Bandcamp on the first Friday of the month, all the money goes to the artists. So keep that in mind. Drone Hands is on Bandcamp. Also, Excitable Me, Vincentius Primus's project, is on Bandcamp. And we're going to hear one of his songs right now. Bye for now, everyone. Bye for now.